It's the moment you've all been waiting for, where the MoreTech technology complements mechanical recycling by converting flexible packaging and mixed plastic waste into pyrolysis oil and pyrolysis gas. And Martino Gabellic is here to tell you all about it. So I will let you take the floor, and a round of applause for Martino Gabellic.
Thank you, Karin. I'm definitely happy to be here to talk to you about chemical recycling and specifically MoreTech. Also, you may have noticed this is the last presentation of the event before the closing remarks. So I'm going to try to go quite fast and leave some space for questions also. So what is the agenda for today? This quick journey. First point is definitely, has been already mentioned, but I want to remind about how chemical recycling is complementary to mechanical recycling. The second topic is I want to explain to you what is LyondellBasell strategy in chemical recycling. So what is our business model, how we are going to manage. Then quick dive into the MoreTech in preparation for this afternoon. And last but not least, a concept that has already been mentioned, but is very relevant. Circular and Revive is a drop-in solution. So first, I think this has already been mentioned earlier today. Chemical recycling is complementary to mechanical for two reasons. The first one has to do with the plastic waste feedstock. We want to use as much as we can of the plastic waste feedstock, and we cannot use all the plastic waste feedstock for mechanical recycling. So we need a complement. This, I think, has been mentioned by Matthijs also before. So we want to give value to all the plastic waste streams. The second dimension is more market related. And I think we have been discussing a lot about the need for high purity in certain applications. Food packaging, pharmaceutical application. And this is what, it's a bit the edge of chemical recycling. So these are the two reasons. They go, like Paula mentioned also, they go in parallel. And frankly speaking, as LyondellBasell, we do not have a conflict of interest because we have both. So it's not that we want to push one versus the other one. We offer both. And then it's going to be the customer, the brand owner, to choose. So what is the strategy we have? I think you have mentioned something, Yvonne, earlier this morning. First, let's define our strategy in this way. We have two pillars, a make and a buy. So the make, you can see on the right, is the MoreTech. We have developed this technology, and we are going to build a plant to make pyrolysis oil and pyrolysis gas using the MoreTech technology. MoreTech 1, MoreTech 2, and more. This is great, but it's not enough, in the sense that we do expect a demand coming from our customers and from our brand owners, that is going to be quite significant. So this is why we want to complement our make with a buy strategy. What is a buy strategy? Substantially, some of you may be familiar with this space, but there are a few startups, often early stage companies, producing P-oil, or they have projects to produce in the future P-oil. What we do, we partner with this early stage company. We select first, because maybe not all of them have a profile. Then we partner, we go for a commercial agreement that is typically sometimes short term, but can be long term, and we commit to buy the P-oil. Sometimes we put even skin in the game. It's not only a commercial agreement. We are a limited partner of a venture capital fund called Infinity Recycling, and we co-invest with them also in this early stage company. So if you want, we play a role not only from a technology perspective, but also supporting the nascent industry of chemical recycling. Now we deep dive into the MoReTec, and we have a nice video. I hope you are going to enjoy it.
How is plastic waste getting a new life? Once we have eaten cookies, potato chips, or a chocolate bar, we place the packaging material in a recycling bin. The plastic waste is picked up and collected by local collection services. It gets cleaned and processed in large sorting and recycling centres. Single-type plastic waste is directed to a mechanical recycling facility, while processed mixed plastic waste, including flexible components, is sent to an advanced recycling site. Here, this difficult-to-recycle material is fed into a reactor. At LyondellBasell, the MoReTec advanced recycling process converts pre-treated mixed plastic into pyrolysis oil and pyrolysis gas. Pyrolysis oil and gas are a substitute for fossil-based materials used in polymer and chemicals production. To convert as much plastic waste as possible into new raw materials, we add a unique LyondellBasell catalyst into the reactor. This also allows the process to run at lower temperatures and therefore reduces the CO2 footprint associated with the pyrolysis process. LyondellBasell then uses the pyrolysis oil and pyrolysis gas as feedstock in its cracker plants to produce the raw materials, which are then processed into new plastic materials and other useful chemicals. The differential MoReTec technology is a key solution to increasing the circularity of plastic. It closes the loop for plastic waste that is currently incinerated or landfilled. These materials promote plastic recycling and are ready to use. If placed back into a recycling bin, this material can be recycled again and again. LyondellBasell. Solutions for a better tomorrow.
So I hope first you have enjoyed the video. This slide, I guess, the right piece of the slide is substantially, you have seen the video, so I'm not going to cover. It is a bit the flow of the material. So I'm going to focus on the left side, on the benefits of a MoReTec. I think in a way or another, we have mentioned already all of them in the last couple of days. So I'm going to refresh your memory to highlight the 4 benefits. First, the circle and revive, the polymers, the circle and revive polymers, that for us is polypropylene and polyethylene, coming from the MoReTec, are not only helping to have a recycling solution, but they are also a low carbon solution at the same time. So this is the first message. The MoReTec allow to reduce significantly the carbon footprint compared to a fossil alternative. How is possible? Because the MoReTec use electricity. When you crack the plastic waste, you need to go up in temperature. So you need to provide heat to the system, to the reactors. You can do traditionally burning gas, but of course in that case you generate CO2 emissions. Alternative, you can have a system, and our scientists have developed a very elegant solution to use electricity to provide heat to the reactors. And of course, if you use renewable electricity, you make it happen. The second point is plastic-to-plastic yield. At the end, we want to get back plastics from plastic waste. There is an issue with plastic waste, so we want to find a solution to the plastic waste issue, but there is also a desire then to transform the plastic back into plastic. The MoReTec, thanks to the fact that we use the liquid but also the gas produced by pyrolysis, allow us substantially to have a significantly high yield. This is important. The next one has to do with the catalyst. We have tested so many catalysts in Ferrara. ask the guys when you are going to visit this afternoon. I don't remember how many, but quite a few. And we have selected the best ones. And this allow to have a very stable temperature, also a lower residence time, so you can go a little bit faster. So this substantially reduces the energy that you have to provide, so you have a lower energy consumption. So the catalyst has a direct benefit, not only on the quality of the product, but also on the process. Last but not least, the most exciting piece, the MoReTec is scalable. I mean, all technologies are scalable. The point is that if I have a reactor and I have to build a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to scale my capacity, is different than if I have one and I can increase the size of my train. This is how the MoReTec goes. We can increase the size of a train. We don't need to put several reactors, one close to the other, with a modular approach. So this makes scalability easier, but also, let's say, more economically attractive. This is the story of a MoReTec. It's quite a coincidence, Paula and Matthijs, because I didn't realize that QCP was 2018. So basically, we have a kind of a coincidence here. The decision to start to look at the chemical recycling technology, which was an exercise cutting across Ferrara, Frankfurt, and Houston, was in 2018. We went quite quickly because then this is part of the DNA of LyondellBasell. Immediately, we wanted to build something, the pilot. And so this is why the pilot was built in Ferrara, operational in 2020. And then by the time the pilot started to work, the idea is, let's build a commercial unit. And so engineering started. Finally, what happened is that the tests, a lot of feedstock tests, catalyst tests, process design, all together, we developed the business case as well, and we decided to go for a final investment decision. This was 2023, at the end of 23. 24, we had a nice ceremony. Some of you have even participated. And we did the groundbreaking, and we are now under construction. We expect, strange to say, because it was far in the, but now is next year. So startup of the MoReTec 1 is going to happen next year, not in January. It's going to happen in the third quarter probably of next year. So, but it's around the corner. MoReTec 1. I think you have noticed on the slide, but I think Yvonne, you mentioned already earlier, there is MoReTec 2 coming in US. It's before final investment decision, so we are still preparing the case. But you may notice something. The capacity is double the capacity of MoReTec 1. It's 100 KT. So this is a demonstration of a scalability, of a benefit that I've mentioned before. Some of you may say, what is this plant here reported? This is the pilot. It's a night view of a pilot in Ferrara. So you are going to enjoy the day view later this afternoon. I think we have discussed about, if you want, the value chain, the hub. I want to mention one point. It's been mentioned already, but I want to mention again. The sorting and preparation of a plastic waste feedstock. Because sometimes you put a lot of attention to the pyrolysis itself, but it's not alone. It's not going to make the cut. You need to make sure that you prepare your feedstock for chemical recycling. And you know what? In LyondellBasell, we like to get our hands dirty. In which sense? We decided to go upstream. So we wanted to be involved with plastic waste preparation. We didn't want to leave this to somebody else. We wanted to be part of this. Why? Also because we wanted to make sure that the quality, the specifications, so we wanted to be able some way to control also this step to make it successful then the MoETec. So this is why we have two JVs, Source One Plastics in Germany and Cyclics in Texas, that substantially help us to achieve that objective. And will provide probably more stability to the ramp up and to the production of the two units. Last slide. I like one word on this slide. Drop in. That's the message. You buy from LyondellBasell polypropylene or polyethylene, or you use, basically, you can use the same product, the same grade. What you can bring together is a mass balance certificate that allow you, the point number 2, to give also representation of the fact that this is a recycled content. So this is a very powerful, if you want, attribute of chemical recycling. So this is also why, maybe in conclusion, we have seen that the volumes of chemical recycling are growing, but we do expect sooner or later to see kind of a sudden growth. Because when a number of companies are going to move all at the same time, it's not going to take much time substantially, because you don't need to requalify all the products. You just need to bring the certificate. So this is why we do expect kind of hockey stick for the demand. And this is why we are very pleased to have this two-pillar strategy to allow us to satisfy the demand. But also remember now, going back to the MoETec is different because brings a low carbon footprint proposition. So this is what I wanted to cover. I guess I went reasonably fast, Karin. And so now space for some questions, if you like, before the closing remarks.
Do we have one question in the room? Yes, we do right here. Do I have a microphone very quickly? Just run that over there. Grazie. Okay. Prego.
Schulz, Novo Nordisk, what do you anticipate to be the top 3 kind of post-consumer packaging that you will feed into the MoETec?
Thank you.
So you mean, to understand better your question, so, or maybe I give an example, and so you can say it's okay, it's not okay. What we use as a feedstock, it is post-consumer waste. And this is typically household post-consumer waste. So what you put typically in your household waste is rigid packaging, but this then is going to be sorted mostly for mechanical recycling. And then there is a lot of flexible packaging that is typically at home, mostly food packaging. So the expectation is that we are going to find in the MoETec feedstock that comes from flexible packaging. And I think there is quite a variety of examples, but mostly food packaging, I would say, at home. I don't know if I answer your question.
Martino, thank you so much for that. I'm going to have to leave it there because we have to get to closing remarks, but a big round of applause for Martino Gabellic.